Hello, my name is Tony Beers, and this is Movie Grades.
And just like the movies, we play out our last scene.
Hey everybody, Tony Beers here again, and this is a special episode of Movie Grades. This is our year in review, the top three best and top three worst movies of 2014. This is part two. Of course, we did part one earlier with the other members of Toxic Pop, and here's some more here, and here we got
Jason Case.
Jay.
Robin Kreutzer, RK Stud.
So yeah, and before we get to the top three best and then the top three worst, we'll give a few honorable mentions. So, Jay, you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, The Expendables 3. Thought it was pretty good. The second one was the best out of the three that I seen. Maleficent I thought was a pretty good movie, considering what it was. Oh, and the one that you recommended, me and my wife, The Book of Life. It was a really good animated movie, and I really liked it a lot.
Robin, you got any honorable mentions?
I sure do. Angry Video Game.
Angry Video Game Nerd, the movie.
I didn't
movie.
get to see that.
Oh, it was so funny and hilarious.
I want to see it. I like that guy.
And another one that I really like to recommend, believe it or not, guys, is it's called Mom's Night Out. You would think it would be wacky and wild, but it was toned down enough and it was Christian-like, but without it being too preachy.
Now, for honorable mentions, I'd like to mention Sin City: A Dame to Kill For. I know that Jay didn't like it as much as what I did, but I thought visually it's just stunning, and I think it's a very underrated movie. I'd also like to mention The Hobbit: Battle of the Five Armies. It's probably my least favorite of the Hobbit movies, but still, it's just amazing. And the other one I would like to mention is Dawn, Planet of the Apes. That was really good. You know, our friends Russell and Jay, they didn't like it, but I really liked it. I thought, again, another visually a stunning movie. Great characters, great story, great special effects, great acting. So we'll go on to our top three best movies of 2014. Jay, what's your number three?
My number three is X-Men Days of Future Past. I liked it. I thought it was a good movie. But when we did our review, there was a few things I did have issues with in it. They were minor things. It just killed me because of what happened in that movie. None of the other movies ever happened.
Yeah.
So you've been wasting your money this whole time. I thought they stuck really close to the essence of the story. There was some changes, but overall, it was a good movie. Not the best of last year, but it was top three.
Robin, what's your number three?
My number three is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I enjoyed the action in it, the story, and the fact that there were repercussions through the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show.
I loved how they tied that in.
My number three is Guardians of the Galaxy. A lot of people are giving this movie high praise, which it deserves, but I don't think it was as good as my next two. It was neck and neck for me for Guardians of the Galaxy and the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. The thing that pushed Guardians of the Galaxy to number three over the new Planet of the Apes movie was its fun factor. You can't really top it for how fun it is. It's a movie that I would watch over and over again, whereas Planet of the Apes, I wouldn't watch it as often. Okay, so what's your number two, Jay?
Well, I'm kind of conflicted here. I would say I have two number ones, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this one first. It's the one you just talked about, Guardians of the Galaxy. My whole take on this is it's a comic book movie, but the way it was done, it wasn't your atypical comic book feel to it. I was to say, my wife went to go see it, and she never read a comic book in her life.
Yeah.
And for her to tell me that she loved this movie, that says a lot about it.
Yeah.
If I would have took her to see X-Men, she would have been like, what's going on here? You know?
Right.
So, as to say, I have two number ones because for me, it's that one and the Captain America, which I'll talk about soon. But I'm just going to say Guardians is my number 1B. And I felt it was one of the best movies of the year.
Oh, yeah.
It had story, characters. Rocket was awesome. All those characters were good. The actors, Chris Pratt was awesome as Star-Lord. Not to mention just all the other supporting cast. They were all good with all their parts. And I just thought that movie, to me, was one of the more complete movies of the year.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Robin, what's your number two?
My number two, it also has a book tie-in. It's actually based on... The movie was based on the book, and it's for real.
Good movie.
I really felt for the little boy and his parents trying to figure out what's going on when his appendix had bursted and he had infection. The way that he describes heaven and all the events throughout the whole movie was just, I'll say it, freaking awesome. But as far as the movie goes, it didn't tell all that was in the book. So it made me pick up the book.
I thought it was a good movie. I agree with you. I do think that was a good movie.
I haven't seen it, so I can't say anything.
It makes you think. It really does.
Okay,
yeah, it opens your eyes to some things that you wouldn't normally think of.
So my number 2 is X-Men Days of Future Past. I think I liked it more than you guys. The story is great, the action is great, the characters are great. Yeah, I could see where you'd say your wife would be confused, and because it's one of those movies where you kind of have to see at least some of the other movies before it. But I think it does a decent job of showing you who the characters are and what their motivations and everything was. And that sequence with Quicksilver was amazing.
Yeah, that was cool.
The action's amazing, special effects, and it's setting up for X-Men Apocalypse, so that'd be nice to see. And it fixes the messes made with some of the other X-Men movies. So X-Men are back, so it's kind of making me excited for the next phase. And I thought they translated Chris Claremont's story very well. I mean, they changed actually quite a few things, but I felt some of the changes were necessary, and it all ties in, and it is just a good movie, and it connects real world history events, just like the last one, First Class. It had the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah.
And this one has the Kennedy assassination in it. I don't know, it just makes it feel more realistic that way. That's about all I can say about it. So we'll have to go to the very best movie of the year. What's your favorite movie?
Well, just like I said, to me, Captain America: Winter Soldier was the best movie of the year. I love the story. Chris Evans, great job as Captain America. I think it was the most complete movie of the year as far as story, characters. When we did our review, we talked about it didn't have a superhero feel to it. It was more of like an espionage movie, which I love those kind of movies, and I thought it brought a different flavor to the genre of superhero. You keep doing these same old things, they're going to get bland after a while.
Exactly.
So we saw it in 3D, and the 3D was great in it. Especially with Falcon. The Falcon scenes were awesome. And Anthony Mackie, I liked him as Falcon. I thought he did a great job. And sometimes you say, well, they put humor in there, it didn't belong. But all the stuff that was funny belonged in there. The way they did it was great. All the setups were great.
Well together,
and then like he said, the tie-in with the Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show. Boy, they blended that so good together. I mean, I'm sitting there watching the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I watched the Captain America movie. I'm like, oh yeah, that's so awesome. It blew my mind how they kept everything together. And the whole Marvel universe in general now is all tied in with the Thor movies and all that. But to me, that was the best movie of 2014.
Okay, Robin?
Well, my best 2014 is Guardians of the Galaxy. I just absolutely loved it. Just for the main factor, fun.
Yeah.
I was really skeptical of the fact of how are they going to do with the tree and the rocket. Yep. Yeah. Like the old tagline for the first Superman movie with Christopher Reeve. You can believe a man can fly. You can believe a rocket raccoon is alive.
Yeah.
And a talking tree.
And another thing I failed to say about it, the people they picked for the roles in that. Bradley Cooper was great as Rocket. And I mean, even though Vin Diesel don't have many words to say, he is good as Groot. I am Groot.
The geek scene for me is in that movie when they show Thanos and he's talking.
Which is who? Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin.
Goonies, baby, Goonies.
He's like, that made me just want to just geek in my pants.
Oh, it was great. Even the chick that played Nebula.
Yeah.
I mean, she did a good job too.
Yeah. My number one, I have to agree with you, Jay, is Captain America: Winter Soldier. What amazes me is that it combined so many genres into one. It's a political drama, it's a spy espionage movie, it's an action movie, it's a superhero movie. And it blended it so well together. It was just amazing. I mean, like the superhero parts, you got stuff like Armin Zola as a computer and stuff like that. And like I said, you even have humor in the movie, even with all the seriousness going on. You got humor. And that's the thing, is it mixed so many things so well, that merged so well together.
And it was believable.
Yeah, it was believable.
And that was the best, that was one of the better things about it too.
It was realistic. Like I was saying about X-Men, it kind of tied the real world into it. I was thinking going into it, if they make it about a political drama or espionage, I'm like, oh, well, there goes the superhero and action stuff. But it didn't. It was right in there. I mean, the action it had, I feel, was the best of the year because it was non-stop action. It was action from beginning to I mean, there's smaller scenes, but it was just so good. In our review of it, I said I was looking for something that was bad in it.
There wasn't
and
anything.
I couldn't find anything.
There
bad
wasn't.
in it. So that's why it's my best. Toxic Pop has a new Facebook page. Like it to see pictures and keep informed about our upcoming events and videos. A link is in the description. Go to www.facebook.com/toxicpop1.